Hi, my name is Monique. I currently live in my 2022 Ford Transit Connect van in order to save money so that I can eventually buy land and live a simpler life, and I enjoy sharing snippets of my life with you all. The plan was to camp in Pennsylvania after leaving New York, but I learned Pennsylvania charges $10 a night at all of their state parks, and I only camp at free places. There were 2 national forests that offered free camping, but they weren't in the direction I was headed, so I decided to bypass Pennsylvania and head to West Virginia. I arrived at the campground a couple of hours before sunset. I always feel a little relief when I turn onto that signature bumpy dirt or gravel forest road because I know my long drive is finally coming to an end. I'm in West Virginia right now at a campsite and I don't like it. This is the first time that has happened, but as they say, there's a first time for everything, and I don't like this campsite. All the campsites are like right off the road. You know, you can't tuck away in somewhere, which is what I prefer. And also the campsites are very, very muddy. It looks like people got a 4-wheeler or some kind of vehicle like that and just went crazy in the mud and then left. And then it rained and now all of that mess is filled with water and it's just muddy, and the campsites are a mess to me. I typically like to stay at a campsite for a minimum of 5 days, minimum 5 to 7 days, but I'm gonna be here overnight. Honestly, I would leave now, but because winter is approaching, you know, the sun is setting super early at like 4:20, 4:30 p.m. I just don't want to spend the time driving to another campground and potentially getting there in the dark, because I do not like getting to a campground in the dark. I prefer to see where I'm going, see the area before I park there and decide I want to stay there. But yeah, I was surprised. I could feel my heart sinking the more I drove 5 miles down this road. I just knew within 5 miles I would have to find one camp spot that I liked. And the more I drove, the more I could feel my heart sinking. And it was weird because I usually like the camp spots, but I had to admit to myself, like, I don't like it here. I don't want to stay here. That's not something I've had to do before. So I had to process my feelings and conclude that it's okay to not like a campground and I can leave. I don't have to stay here. This was the plan. But the plan is changing right now. I'm deciding to change the plan, and that's okay. And honestly, once I admitted that I didn't like the campground and that I was gonna change plans, I started to feel a lot better. And now I feel good. Now I feel fine. I'm okay with staying here in this little area overnight. And I look forward to leaving in the morning. All right, I'll see you guys later. This is where I slept last night. Just a little pull off that's not muddy, so I know I won't get stuck. Yep, time to leave. The first thing I noticed as I turned onto the road leading to the second campground was hunters. They were scattered everywhere in their camouflage outfits with their vehicles parked on the side of the road. Within the first 20 minutes of driving up that road, I felt like too many men saw my little self alone in my little van, which made me think it wouldn't be smart to camp alone in this area. Especially when I have to drive 30 plus minutes to find the campground and I completely lost my signal within the first 5 minutes of turning on this road. Google Maps said it would take 30-something minutes to drive the 10 or so miles to the campground. I thought it was being dramatic, but it wasn't. I drove on this bumpy, uneven road for 30 minutes and still didn't reach the campground. I finally arrived at one campground, but it wasn't what I was looking for, so I kept driving. Still no campground. At this point, I conclude I'm wasting my time. Even if I find this obscure campground, I wouldn't feel comfortable staying here. In the case of an emergency, it would take me 40 plus minutes just to reach the entrance of the National Forest Road. Plus, there's too many hunters and too many of them had seen me in my van. Some of them even continued to just stand there and watch my van after I had passed them. On top of that, I had no signal. I made the smart choice to turn around, find somewhere to park and eat, and look for another campground. I went back to the other campground and considered staying there, but there was no signal there, and Musa hadn't heard from me in over an hour, and he couldn't track where I was on his phone until I was somewhere with a signal. It would have been irresponsible to stay there overnight without letting someone know I made it to my destination safely. So I ate my food and made the 30-something minute drive back down that road. This is when I started feeling a little anxious and dejected. It's almost winter. The sun is starting to set so early now. So that gives me even less time to find a campground before it gets dark, because I do not like pulling into a campground when it's dark outside. So I think that just makes me a little more anxious because I have no clue where I'm going right now. This campground did not work out either. And now I have to find somewhere to pull over and find somewhere else to go and then drive there and try to do that within the next few hours because it's going to get dark basically 2 seconds after the crack of dawn. The sun starts setting. I'm going to pull over here because so much of my stuff just fell out and my water jug fell out of my cabinet. This fell out from up there, my little thing that I keep my clothes in. Let me just fix that really quickly. But that's what's going on right now. The second campground in West Virginia did not work out either, and I was just feeling a little bit down. Being here has given me a taste of understanding when it comes to seasonal depression. I do not feel depressed. I don't. But I feel like I get it because the weather in conjunction with just things not going right in life and things being hard in life, I get how that can make someone be down if they have to be in this type of cold, cloudy environment for 3+ months, in addition to dealing with everything that life is throwing at us all the time. Oh great, I can't even pull over here. The freaking dump truck is coming. Let me pull over right here. But I get it. There's something within me right now that's like becoming louder and louder. It's my desire for seasons, like real seasons, to experience real seasons, because I have not experienced real seasons in a long time. Because I went to college in a southern state, and before moving to that state, I lived in Hawaii for several years. And then before living in Hawaii, I lived in Texas. So it's been a long time since I've lived anywhere that had like a real fall, that had a real winter. And I've been craving that recently. I've been craving living somewhere snowy, somewhere that has all 4 seasons. But today I was starting to think, like, I don't know. I'm so conflicted because my whole adult life I was like, oh, I'm living somewhere tropical. Musa and I, no question. We agreed on that. We agreed on that immediately when we met and decided we wanted to spend our lives together. We want to live somewhere tropical. But now all of a sudden I'm like, Musa, I kind of like the snow, you know? I like being cozy in the house and warm with the fire when it's snowing outside. I like that vibe. And I'm craving it. I want to experience it. But I like the sun. I like the sun. I like sunshine. But I also love storms, and like I love clouds, but I don't love like cloudy days all the time. I love thunderstorms. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. I just, today with feeling how I'm feeling and feeling a little down, and with the weather being how it is and it's so cold, and then it started snowing a few minutes ago, and I was just like, I think I might get these people who, I think I might finally understand these people who say they have seasonal depression in the wintertime. Anyways, I'm done talking about this. I'm not depressed or anything. I'm just feeling a little down, but I'm still feeling motivated and optimistic. So I'm just gonna go put my water jug back in my cabinet because it slid out on that bumpy road. I'm gonna put this back up there and then hit the road. And I will see you somewhere. Can you see? They have dogs out here. Anyways, I don't know if you can see. What the heck? Do dun dun da dun dun da dun dun dun. Do dun dun da dun dun da da dun. Do dun dun da dun dun da dun dun dun. Da dun dun da dun dun dun. Do dun dun da dun dun da dun. He's my only home. Won't go back on crazy, I'm wild. I've been in love since I was a child, and I never forgot the face. Put me in my grave. Do dun 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 dun. Do dun 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 dun. Do dun 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 dun. It's so dark in here, you can't even see everything. I just fell off the couch. My gosh. Stuff's everywhere. I hit a bump and my water tank came flying out of the cabinet. I know I should get drawer slides that lock. At some point I'll do that maybe. I'm so tired. Today was the most annoying day I've had in a very long time. I've never put coconut milk in ramen before. It's very good. Hardly anything went as planned during these last few days. On top of the exhaustion and dejection I felt from driving for so long to find a campground and not seeing the sun in over a week, I had a horrible conversation with a loved one, which was the final straw. At this point, I felt severely unbalanced and needed to find equilibrium. For most of my life, I've participated in the unhealthy practice of escapism whenever I'm feeling melancholy. I watch cartoons or movies, or I take long naps in order to escape my reality until I'm able to handle it again. One technique I've practiced since I was a child is daydreaming. I lay down and completely zone out into a perfect world I created in my mind, picking up right where I left off in my last daydream. It's like a never-ending perfect movie that I get to star in. I'd do this for hours at a time if I was able. And to this day, I use all of these forms of escapism when life becomes too much. I mean, I do mostly watch cartoons because they're fun to watch, but sometimes I watch them in order to feel childlike again, removing myself from all adult responsibilities. But during my days at this campground, I chose to take a more active role in managing my feelings. I still didn't have a cell signal, so I couldn't immerse myself into a movie or watch my favorite YouTubers. All I had was Monique, my little van home, and nature. I spent these days marinating in my feelings. I didn't reach any profound conclusions during this time, but I did learn that as long as I continue with life, normalcy always finds its way back, somehow. I learned that it won't kill me to actually feel my feelings, even if I don't reach any resolutions. And I also feel more comfortable handling situations when things don't go as planned, which is something I think all van lifers and vehicle dwellers inevitably learn in this lifestyle. So, West Virginia was nice. It gave me what I needed, whether it was the tribulations I experienced my first days here, or the relaxation I experienced at this campground. I'm feeling like myself again, and I'm off to my next destination. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate being able to share some of my life experiences with you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.